David Golden, you're a teacher at Rye Neck High School, and now you're teaching online. How's it going?
It's a challenge, but I think we're making a lot of progress. I think the teachers are doing everything they can, and the students are doing everything they can, as well as the administrators. But it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely something new, something we're all kind of feeling our way through.
Tell
But
our, uh, tell our audience what you're teaching.
so I teach high school video production classes. I teach a computer design class. I also teach seventh grade video tech classes, which is kind of a mixture of technology and video. So those are the courses I teach.
So you say it's a challenge for the teachers. How so?
Well, I think everybody's kind of learning this whole process of online teaching using applications like Zoom, Google Meet, Screencastify is another one that our teachers are using. Another program I use, which is called Nimbus, which is another Google app, which is a screen recording type of application. So just from a technology standpoint, it's definitely a challenge. Just keeping that line of communication open with the students is tough. Some students are communicating more than others, so that's always a challenge. So there's a lot of stuff that's new to us and new to the students.
I'll get to the students in a minute, but what about those parents? How are they responding?
We've gotten some correspondence. I've personally gotten some correspondence from parents. I know other teachers have as well. But it's a challenge. And the other aspect of this, which I'll probably talk about throughout this interview, is we don't really know what situation these students are in, these parents are in.
Mhm.
So it's just it's tough because we really don't know what they're facing. Um, Emotionally, psychologically. So if it's hard to judge if a student's not communicating or why they're not communicating. So it's not, we haven't had communications with all students and with all parents, but we have had some communications.
Is the technology you're using for a classroom, is it two-way? Is it interactive so that you can talk to the students and they can talk to you?
So a lot of teachers are using interactive programs such as Zoom and Meet. I personally have been posting a lot of videos, and I've had students assigning different video type projects in my video classes, that is, and they have been responding with other videos. So we're actually in the process of doing sort of a documentary type of piece where I have them submitting and uploading to my Google Classroom page different video pieces on different activities that they're doing throughout this closure. And I have them actually answering some questions about how they feel about the closure, positive things, negative things about spending time with their family, things like that. And then hopefully at some point we'll kind of put it all together and make a documentary sort of piece out of it. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of live stuff with them, but
Mhm.
I have been submitting and screen recording myself, and they have been doing the same, and we've been kind of communicating that way.
Do they make use, or do you make use of email? Can they contact you with specific questions, for example?
Absolutely. On my Google Classroom page, they can post stuff on videos and things that I post and classmates post, as well as, of course, email. So we've been in contact that way through Google Classroom page and email.
Do you have any suggestions for parents?
The best thing I could say, or the only real suggestion I could say for parents, is that they try to create some sort of a schedule that works for their children. The other thing is we have, children who have disabilities and have special needs and things like that that just can't necessarily handle what other students might be able to. So, they just have to figure out or try to figure out some kind of a schedule that works for their students on a daily basis. And that's the challenge. And I think that's what I think the parents should be striving for.
Well, thinking about those children that do have the special needs, are you aware of any how the district is reaching out to these students or these parents?
So there is support staff. There have been school psychologists and counselors have been trying to reach out to students.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, even students who haven't been communicating as well or as much with teachers, we basically have created a report that the counselors actually get, and then they try to reach out from there, from that list of students who who haven't been communicating quite as much, and the counselors will try to reach out from there. But the support staff has been communicating through email, through classroom pages as well, to try to see if these students need any additional support, or just to say that, hey, we're here if you need us.
Do you have any personal stories, something funny that happened, or a breakthrough perhaps that happened as while you were online or your students were online?
Not
That you can share,
particularly, but
privacy is an issue.
not particularly, but I will say that because I've been requiring my video classes, for example, to upload some of these videos, and I started off with just some kind of light fun things for them to do, and that's basically just take a short 30-second clip of some of the activities that you've been participating. And I've seen a lot of interesting stuff, from walking dogs to playing video games to, doing trick shots and watching movies. And some of the stuff it's quite entertaining. And hopefully at some point we can put some kind of piece together and then take a look at that and maybe put it on LMC.
That would be a great idea. Dave Golden, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to share with our audience the experience of a teacher online and his students online. Andy Scopp, you were my former student at Mamaroneck High School. Now you're a teacher at the Hommocks. What do you teach there?
Hey, Mr. Witch. Can I call you Mike or Mr. Witch?
You can call me Mike.
All right, Mike, I teach 7th grade social studies, U.S. history.
And how has it been teaching online for the last several days, I guess?
So a typical class would be, I record like a 2-minute welcome video that gives a positive message, sort of frames the lesson, puts in any important points I really want to get across. And it could contain a joke, it could contain a funny story, just to humanize the connection, because you lose that when it's online. So that's the way each lesson starts. And then it's all through Google Classroom. And I know you've done this with other teachers. I'm sure they'll speak to this as well. But Google Classroom is something we've been using at Hommocks for, I think, 4 years, maybe 5 years now. And it's terrific. I can't imagine doing this 5 years ago, or even 10, especially 10 years ago. So we're fortunate that the kids and the teachers and staff are already comfortable with Google Classroom. So after the introduction video, they have an assignment on Classroom where I create a doc for them. And then they each have a copy. So they can type on that same Google Doc that has the materials and the questions and the assignments and whatever it is for the lesson. So each kid has his or her own platform to work on. And when he or she is finished, they'll press turn in, and I'll be able to assess their work. And we can also do it in real time, where I can make comments on the work as they're doing the assignment.
Do you have any tips for parents how can they be more supportive of what their children are doing in your classroom?
Oh, they can ask. And first of all, I want to say how lucky I am. I hope to be a parent soon, but right now we're not. And I'm able to focus on this work only. Whereas teachers, and it's many of us who are working at home with kids running around, many of whom have their own schoolwork to do, that's got to be really tough. And just a lot of respect goes to the teachers / parents who are managing that. But regarding parents, I've communicated with, it's only been positive since this started on March 18th. I haven't had literally no problems. But parents, when they reach out, are sometimes asking for ways to keep their children even more engaged. And each lesson has an extension to it, where it's optional, where kids have more opportunities to dive deeper into a subject. So like, for example, the lesson on Monday was about Andrew Jackson and yesterday, all different perspectives on him. He was a controversial president from the day he was sworn in, up until current times. And the extension has to do with a comparison between President Jackson and President Trump. And the kids research about, and they see interviews, they read, and if they'd like to, they have an opportunity to write a tweet. They don't actually send it to him, to President Trump, either telling him how much he is like Andrew Jackson, one of his idols, or maybe asking perhaps how he could be more like him, or with some sort of criticism. So there's a lot of student choice, and I would love the parents to encourage their kids to try that, to go for those opportunities. Because the one thing we lose not being with the kids in the classroom is sort of a way to motivate them. So that's a place where parents could really come in, is to challenge your children if they can. And obviously all circumstances are different. And some families, students, once they do their schoolwork, have to take care of the little sister or little brother or whatever it happens to be. So
Sure.
not all households have this luxury, but if the parents can, it would be great to ask their kids to do more and to go deeper.
Well, I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with us today. And I remember you were a lot of fun when you were in my classroom, and you sound like a great teacher these days. So thanks again, Andy.
I appreciate it, Mike. Take care.
I'd like you to join me in saying hello to Dara Goodman. Hi, Dara.
Hi.
You're a working artist and you teach art in Rye Neck school districts, but you've created a whole series of videos that are available on the MADE website, M-A-D-E, My Art and Design Experience in Mamaroneck. Can you tell us about those videos?
Sure. Well, for my own school, I've been creating video tutorials just to continue within art enrichment so that my students have some kind of normalcy within their week. In my school district, we have art every 6 days. So I've been making these video tutorials, and my friend Jamie, who owns MADE, had reached out to me and said that she wanted to try and reach more people in the community. And I thought that was a great idea. So why should it only be my students that get that enrichment? I think it's amazing to open it up to other people in the community. So I volunteered my time to give her an extra video each week to enrich other people's lives.
And you record these videos in your home just using an iPhone?
I do. Yes, I use an iPhone and a computer. I kind of simultaneously use them. My computer I use for the regular video tutorial to kind of give an art history background to the artists and the project that we're going to be doing. And then I use my iPhone as more of a bird's eye view shot to teach step by step how to do the project.
So I could do one of your projects at home just using materials that I have?
Absolutely. I really try and make it appropriate to reach anyone and with any materials that they have at home, because not everybody has an art studio in their home. Some people just have lined paper and a pencil. So I make it that my lessons are appropriate for that, as well as if you have paints or markers or crayons. And I basically go throughout the steps and explain how part of being an artist and part of being creative is just using the tools that you have available to you. So if that's a pencil, that's fantastic. And if it's paint, that's great too.
So what will you teach me in one of your videos if I just have a pencil or a crayon?
I usually base it on some type of artist or artist technique. That would be the first thing. And basically we develop a composition. So I would, it could be a still life, it could be of a person, a portrait, a landscape. And basically we're going step by step of how to develop a composition or how to lay out things on a page.
Oh, do I have to have something physically in front of me to draw, or does that come from you?
In my videos, I usually do a tutorial of an artist or an artist's technique or art movement that I show visuals with on the screen. So hopefully you would have a computer in front of you so you could watch the tutorial. And then after that, I show step by step how I use different drawing methods to create accuracy in a drawing. But you don't necessarily have to have anything in front of you to draw from other than the steps that I'm teaching. However, sometimes I'll say to grab a roll of tape so you can use it as a circle tracer, or to go around your house and to see if there's something that you could find that's round, whether it's a can of soup or a jar of pickles, something that you can use to create a round shape, because that's usually hard for most students at any age. It's very hard to draw a real circle, and if you don't have a compass or a skilled hand to draw a perfect circle, sometimes it's good to have different materials around.
So how do your students react to the classes that you've been conducting online? I guess to those, you use some of the same video techniques, you show them what to do?
Yeah, my students have been loving it. I've been reached out by many of the parents in the district, as well as my students, saying that they love seeing my face. They love being able to be inspired and to create different pieces of artwork while they're at home, because they miss being at school. They miss being in the art room. They miss, that experience. And, I'm encouraging that. I just think it's great.
you have any tips for parents on how they can improve their students' ability with the arts?
Well, enthusiasm should always be there, and encouragement should always be there. I think that students and children and adults alike, creativity is something you can never run out of. Inspiration, creativity, all of that kind of work hand in hand, and you only get more the more you use it. So I say, if they're feeling bored, if they are anxious, give them a pencil, give them an activity, give them a challenge to think creatively and outside the box, get them involved, talk to them about it. And it becomes a really positive way of almost using art therapy to relieve some stress and anxiety during these uncertain times.
Mhm. Dara Goodman, I just want to thank you for spending a few minutes with the LMC audience and sharing with us how you do your art from home with your students, and also all the videos that people can see on the MADE website. That's correct?
Yeah, on the MADE website, and also, of course, my own students. I have a very active teacher webpage for my school district that has videos and challenges and different resources and printables, because I really think that art should be in everyone's lives. And when we're in this time when we're at home, we can still be creative and actively imagining all different possibilities.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.